goes aside from my soul. There goes aside, there goes aside. Now there goes aside from my soul. There goes aside from my soul.
Hey guys, so I'm just going to jump right into the tutorial. I'm going in with my Maybelline Master Camouflage Concealer, just applying a little bit to the back of my hand and using this for eye primer, of course. I usually tend to do this because it covers up so much more. I'm applying it with a brush at first, and then I kind of just went in with my fingers and blended that right out. I feel like this makes it look the most seamless and gives the best base for you to have flawless eyeshadow. After all of that concealer is blended out, I went in with my NYX HD Finishing Powder in the shade Banana. This is really going to brighten everything up even more. I love this brush for getting in all the nooks and crannies when you're laying down your powder. I really focus this right underneath my brow. This is going to help when you go in later laying all of those shadows down. It will make it to where they transition out very beautifully, and it's just a dream to blend. I decided to go with my L'Oreal La Nude palette and my Carity Mattes palette. So starting with my Carity, I'm going to jump between those two shades and mix them together. I'm using these as my transition shades, so you want to just kind of start in the outer V, and then when there's less shadow on your brush, work that in windshield wiper motions into your crease and into the inner corner. This will help give that gradient look that you want, and make sure that you really blend this out, really blowing this out up and out of the crease. When I got those two shades exactly where I wanted them, I hopped over to my L'Oreal La Nudes and used the darker brown shade of those two mattes right there. I decided to go with this style of a blending brush so that it wasn't super blown out. You know, it can get kind of muddy and messy, and I wanted it really more defined than that, while still being nice and blended without any sharp edges. And I focused this on the very outer V, putting it into my crease about a quarter of the way when there was less shadow on my brush. I cannot emphasize that enough. So you just want to work with it, go back and forth if you need to a few times, but just have patience, and then take that original blending brush and blow it all out. You know, make sure that it is still contoured, but really diffuse that. Then I picked up a little bit of that dark matte shade from my Carity palette and focused this on the very outer V. I put this down a little farther than that original brown shade. I really just wanted to define this a little more because we blew it out so much, so really adding to that, you know, elongated shape to your eye. I also decided to pick up a teeny amount of that black shade. I even dabbed it on the back of my hand so it was more diffused. That way you won't go in with way too much product. This brush is really great for just adding that teeny amount of a deeper shade. Even though it's small and defined, it can still blend it out, so it's really helpful if you have trouble doing this kind of technique. I then grabbed my e.l.f. smudge pot in Ain't That Sweet and used my e.l.f. concealer brush to just dip in there because you know I'm not going to dip those cat claws in there. Isn't this shade pretty? I mean, it's just so soft, but has that right amount of glitter. I don't know, I just love it. So I went in with my e.l.f. concealer brush also to kind of just put it exactly where I wanted to at first. And this way, you know, it's not going to get too messy and you can see exactly what you're doing. But then after that, I did decide to use my finger and just really blend it out. I feel like that's just the best way to do it. Just to make things simple, I dipped my finger into that super pretty champagne shade and blended it out with my finger. This worked really well. I kind of attribute it to that e.l.f. smudge pot. It was my first time using it, and I was really pleased with the results. It just made everything blend very, very beautifully. I then took that original blending brush and made sure there was no sharp edges anywhere in sight. I then just ran a little bit of mascara through my eyelashes. I'm also going to be showing you guys a technique that I thought would be really fun for a beginner tutorial. I picked up a lot of white eyeshadow and used a dense fluffy brush, and it went at an angle on the outer V. This will create a cat eye effect without using eyeliner. Hopefully that's helpful. I applied some Kiss false lashes off camera real quick. Now I'm showing you guys my newfound love. This is like, yes! This is the L'Oreal Infallible Magic Base base. So I apply this in just places that I need it, mainly where I have trouble with foundation wearing off, which has been a huge issue for me lately. This makes my foundation last all day long. I cannot recommend this product enough. Then on the rest of my face, I use my NYX Hydra Boost just because I have dry skin, so you know I need that little extra oomph. I just apply about, I don't know, half a pea-size amount. Honestly, this was like one of my first times using this, and I don't know if I like this primer too much. I would definitely recommend the Infallible primer over these two. That one is just like a miracle in a jar. So one of my favorite foundations from the drugstore is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25 Hour. I'm in shade Ivory. I just use my Real Techniques. I try to use like all affordable, you know, brushes and blending products in this video so you guys could have them easily accessible to you. Anyways, if you guys have been looking for a nice full coverage foundation from the drugstore, I would highly recommend this one. I have used this so many times and I'm always happy with the application, the way it blends. You always want to make sure you take this down your neck so you don't have the ever dreaded jawline. I also usually put a little bit on my ears just because I'm a perfectionist and it looks flawless. Then I'm just taking my concealer and one of L'Oreal's new sponges. This is their concealer sponge. You honestly don't need that much concealer, but I got some stuff to cover up. So I go in all my highlight areas, under the eyes, nose, chin, and forehead. I also like extra coverage on my laugh lines and just, you know, those few imperfections. I really like this sponge. Out of the three that they came out with, this is definitely my favorite. Just having that edge that it does, it really can get in underneath the eyes and blend everything out without, you know, anything looking patchy or just, you know, how concealer can get. It really pushes product in. Then I'm using my NYX banana powder again, and this will really brighten up your face, you guys. I have been using this powder non-stop. I really, really like it. Yeah, just put it everywhere you put that concealer. Make sure everything is just set and good to go. I always put a little extra on my nose. Then take whatever's left over on your brush and put it in the places that we are about to contour. That way it will not be patchy. For contouring, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild palette in Dulce de Leche. When you go in there with your brush, make sure that you get that kick off because this product does have some. I mean, obviously I love it. I've hit pan, but just wanted to mention that using a big fluffy fan brush the way I'm doing is so beginner friendly. That's why I decided to include this technique. If you have trouble contouring and you see those edges, I really recommend trying this out because it makes everything blend out so seamlessly. As you can tell, there are no sharp edges and I haven't even gone in with a powder brush to blend it. I thought warming my face up would look perfect with this look. So I'm using my Real Techniques angled face brush and my butter bronzer from Physicians Formula, going right into that contour and of course above. I really like to go on top of my temples. Love the way that looks. You just want to, like I said, warm your face up. I didn't go too hardcore with this or anything, but this is a really light bronzer, so I think it's really easy to use and it smells like vacation. So who doesn't love that? I also went on my chin area. Then you always want to make sure that you bring a little bit down your neck. I put some on my jawline just kind of for a soft contour. I don't really like to use actual contour powder on the rest of my face. I think it looks too harsh. So if you have that problem, try using a bronzer to contour the rest of your face. I also used a smaller fan brush to contour my nose, again using my butter bronzer. I just think that having fair skin the way I do, it looks so much less harsh. Then you know I gotta give myself that pout. Always, girl. Then I'm using one of my favorite blushes from Milani. This is their Romantic Rose Powder Blush, and I'm also using Real Techniques blush brush. This blush brush is a really multitasker. I absolutely love it. So I didn't add too much, just enough to kind of add some color to my face. I always add a little bit to the tip of my nose for a contour. Then I'm using Physicians Formula. I always get my words mixed up when I say Physicians Formula, but I'm using their Mineral Pearl Glow. At first I thought I wanted kind of a subtle glow, but then you know I packed on that highlight. This is really great though if you do want a subtle highlight, but it can be packed on a little more. I just used my finger to pack it on top of my lip. That way you get the most color payoff. I decided to use the lightest shade in my Lanudes palette for an inner corner highlight. I also took this underneath the brow bone. This shade is really pretty, especially in the inner corner. I'm definitely going to be using this highlight more for my eye area. I just used my small shader brush because I feel like it can really pack it on while blending. Taking that really light shade, I'm going to use that underneath my eye and below this out. This is going to be like your transition shade, same thing you did in your crease. So you're just using it to transition out a different shade. Make sure it's really light, really pretty, and really blended. Then using that darker brown shade one more time, I'm just putting it on the outer corner to give definition to my eye a little bit. I didn't do, anything too crazy with my under eye area. I just wanted to add that little bit of definition. Then for the pop of glam, I'm using my Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art in Barnished Bling. This just went into my inner corner. These are super easy to use. Do not be scared of them. They are one of my favorite products. It already has the adhesive built in, so it's not messy at all. I added a little bit of mascara to my lower lash line. Honestly, most of the time I just use this mascara for the lower lash line. The wand is just perfect. Then for one of my favorite lipsticks at the moment, it's Revlon's Sassy Mauve. This the shade of it is perfect for my lip tone. Is that a thing? Lip tone? I don't know. But it's just a lovely shade, and I really, really want you guys to try these lipsticks out. They feel so comfortable on the lips. If you guys are inexperienced or just kind of scared of applying lipstick like this, or it never seems to come out right, what I do is always start in the middle and then work my way around the edges. That way you can see where your natural lip shape is better, but just have some patience and practice, and I assure you, you will get it. If you really want to look like a pro with your lipstick, I recommend taking a little bit of concealer with an eyeliner brush. I'm using the Real Techniques. It's my favorite, and just clean everything up. Then to make it look airbrushed, I take a little bit of my banana powder and it really just blow out the edges. Oh, it looks so pretty, girl. So for a shameful moment, I'm using my Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. I know, there's great affordable options at the drugstore. I'm sorry, you guys. I just am being a brat. After you set and spray, the tutorial's over. It's kind of sad. So I hope that you guys kind of drew some inspiration from this. I would really love to see what you come up with. I hope everybody has a really beautiful day. I love all of you so, so much. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.